Welcome to Amazing You, everybody. I am your host, Dr. Ranithanacoody. I am a hypnotherapist, life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, and energy healer. And today I have a very special guest. I have the pleasure to introduce you all today to Pedro Garcia from Mexico, who is the author, mentor, and rockstar mompreneurs. So welcome to Amazing You, Pedro.
Oh, thank you very much, Rani. It's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
No, thank you for giving me the chance to share a message of hope and inspiration to your audience. And thank you for launching this podcast in the middle of the pandemic, as you follow your mentor's advice, and thank you for showing up for people.
It's my pleasure. So tell us briefly about your story, Pedro.
Thank you. Well, so since 2016, I've been helping moms attract ready-to-buy prospects and make more sales using the right conversation strategy without using manipulation, fear-based tactics that do not go with their values, without spending all day long on social media looking for clients, and without getting ignored or blocked or upsetting their prospects in their conversations, because when I was a kid, I couldn't help my single mom take her business off the ground. So my mission is very simple: to help make online business easy to 1 billion moms, so that they can be more present with their loved ones and less time and energy in their business. So that's what I do.
Thank you. And what has been the greatest challenge in your life, Pedro, and how did you overcome it?
My ego. I was raised to believe that I needed to be the best at what I do all the time, that I needed to compete against other people to show up better than anyone, and have the idea that I needed to be above everyone, to be successful. So for a long time, I believed that everybody was beneath me, and I needed to be above them, so that was before 2016. So that was like, I mean, in general, my biggest challenge, because my ego has keep working, doing its work, which is to protect myself, making me believe that I am not worthy of success, that I am not worthy of bigger goals, that I'm not worthy to deserve a better lifestyle, and all of that. So it didn't stop in 2016 when I launched my business. It kept showing up, but it has been a work of progress, process, to actually learn to know that I am not my ego. That my ego is just a conditioned self that I have inside me, that was conditioned with all the shoots that my parents, my society, my environment made me believe about myself. I have been working to unshoot, uncondition myself of all these shoots to be accepted and all that. So that has been my greatest challenge. I of course have had others in the way, like near-death experience, like biggest emotional financial crisis. What I believe we want to summarize, it's my ego has been the one to beat, to not rule my life with my ego, but to rule my life just knowing that I am worthy, because I was created godlike, or universe, however you want to believe. I was created to be a co-creator like everyone else. I believe today that everybody is a rock star. Some people just don't know it yet. So like you're a rock star for showing up for people and inviting people like us to share everybody's stories. My story is not different than anyone else's story. I just got lucky to be invited by you to your podcast. So yeah.
I think the audience will be very interested to know, how did you manage to overcome your ego? How did you do that, Pedro?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. First of all, the simplest way to do it or to start the process is to make a choice, you know. The power of choice to me is like one of the best things we can embody, we can embrace, we can learn. And usually we know because we have made choices throughout our life. So we don't need necessarily coaches to help us make a choice. We just need coaches or mentors to support us during our choices, you know, to help us feel accountable with our choices, because we know how to choose. I mean, we always choose to perhaps not believe in ourselves, or perhaps to believe that life should be our parents' way and not ourselves. That we chose to believe that our dreams are not worthy of becoming real.
Yeah.
So we know how to choose. You know, sometimes you just had to say, okay, what if life is actually different? What if I dare to take a different path from that and see what life presents to me, you know? And you will realize, and because you have learned that throughout this lifestyle, if you're watching this, you know that what I'm about to say is it's real, and you have been massively supported all of this time. That's why you're here. Even when you believe you're not supported or you believe you're let down, you have been supported, because even when you can just breathe or see or listen to this, that's the support that you need to keep going in your life. So people like Rani, people like the guests that the guests that have come to this podcast, that's the support that you're getting. Even the people that you hate or the people that you believe they hate you, they are here to support you. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, that they are just mirrors for me to let me know what is it that I can learn, or what is it that is inside of me that is being triggered by them. So that's to me the easiest thing for you to do is just to make the choice. When you decide, okay, I am want to be different, I choose to believe in myself, I choose to find this person inside of me, God, the universe, life, whoever you believe in, will provide the next best step for you to discover who you really are.
That's so true. Yeah. Thank you, Pedro, for clarifying that. Yes.
You're welcome.
So tell us, Pedro, who has been the most influential person in your life? Or it could be a few people, so why, and also why?
Well, the first person that comes to mind is my grandpa.
Okay.
He decided to show up for me and my mom when my mom and my father were having trouble as a young couple. I was even perhaps 1 year old. And my grandpa decided to show up for ourselves. He decided to talk with them and say, hey, why don't you settle down? Why don't you learn to live as a couple and all that? When he realized that my dad wasn't ready for that, and he actually decided to remove us from his life, my grandpa said, okay, it's okay. I want to embrace my daughter with his son. And he was like the father I never had for a period of time. And biggest lesson that he gave me was to always, it was amazing to be around him, and everybody who was around him, all of them had to laugh around him. Like he always make people laugh. Like it was like a natural gift for him to it sounds like he knew something about life, that life is not as serious as they want us to believe, you know, like life is more beautiful to just enjoy life. And the biggest lesson that he taught me is to make other people's life be joyful, and that he always shared joy. Now, the next one would be my mom, of course. Like, and I would need to say that my mom lately, because of course, to me, my mom, the way she behaved when I was a kid, it was normal. I mean, she was my mom, she was my reference. But now that I grow up and I grew up and I have these mom clients, because allow me to say that when I launched my business, I didn't launch it to moms. I just launched it because I wanted to be a mentor. I wanted to be someone for entrepreneurs, because I never had the mentor I always wanted to have. So I wanted to become a mentor for people. But moms were being attracted. Like moms just reach out, and single moms especially. And that was funny because I didn't know about marketing. I wasn't using social media for that. I wasn't using internet to promote myself. I was just relying on my skills on sales and all that. But moms kept showing up. So at some point, after years of helping them and feeling very comfortable by helping them, and believing that by helping them, I was actually helping their sons and their families, and the impact of my help was actually beyond them, I decided to just show up for them. When I show up for them and they actually knew that I was officially for them, I learned like, wow, all the things that moms do to raise children it sounds like superhuman, it's like, and that's how I realized all the things that my mom did. And by the way, today is Mother's Day in Mexico, and I do believe it's a marketing day, but
yeah.
But I believe every day is Mother's Day, because they, by choice, they decide to show up as moms, and sometimes they neglect the women inside of them. Like they forget for moments that they're women. They're more than moms, but they choose to show up for us because they know if they don't show up for us, who else will show up for us? It's an amazing task that they accomplish every single day, and because of my clients, I've been able to comprehend what my mom does, and so those are the two most influential people in my life, and yeah.
Thank you, Pedro. And what are the two other qualities that you admire in your grandfather, Pedro?
I don't know if it was a passion for him to let me take that back. I believe it was a passion for him to serve people.
Okay.
And he was a salesman. So when he met my grandma, my grandma was inherited this business, like to create clothing for the people in this town. They were the first business that doing that. But my grandma was like a manager. And God bless her. She's an amazing woman. I didn't have the chance to meet, although I know some stories. Perhaps she's the third person I admire the most, and I know why. So my grandpa came as the salesman. So he just enjoyed people. Like he just enjoyed being around people. And as a salesman, well, that was exactly his job, to be around people, to help them with the clothes that they needed. So he actually expanded the business in other cities near not that near, some of them far away, but he managed to create products that this area of Mexico, this needed the most. Like we had lots, because this is tropical weather. We had lots of mosquitoes. So my grandpa managed to build this, I don't know in English how they call it. What you cover this your bed with these like blankets, with transparent blankets that prevent the mosquitoes to fly, and
it's a kind of mosquito net, or yes, I know what you are talking about. Yes,
that makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, and I believe it's just because he loved to be around people. Like he was welcome in such places. There were no hotels at that moment, but because they knew who he was, and they knew he believed. I believe he believed everyone is a rock star. That's why he just showed up for people, and that was perhaps the mosquito nets, the product or the value he could provide for them, plus the laughs, plus being for them. He was a great listener also. And I believe that's the one I learned the most, because he could tell you stories, like fun stories, but he was also a great listener, and I witnessed that. And we could go on the street, and he couldn't see and his last days, so he used me as someone who to guide him in the street. And some people stopped him like, oh aunt, sorry, oh my God, Uncle Nacho, or Godfather Nacho, you remember me? Oh, sure. how is the family? How is your mom? How is your dad? Oh my God, they're happy. They kept talking for a long time. So when he maybe gave me a nudge with the arm, it means that we needed to keep walking. So he said goodbyes and all that, and I asked him, who were those people?
Yeah.
He says, I don't know.
Right.
You know, but he made them believe like they knew all the family, and he cared for them and all of that. He was an amazing listener. He was a way to show love for people. So that was fantastic for me to see, you know, from my grandpa.
That's wonderful. And tell us about your mom. What are the three qualities you admire most with your mom, Pedro?
Well, my mom is that of my grandpa. I mean, just the listening part, the empathy side, not that the laugh is, but the empathy side
Right.
is to the tenth power. My mom
Okay.
is like, oh man, she people just come to the home and they know my mom is here for them, so because they know my mom will listen to them and
Yes.
share some advice, share some words of hope and inspiration for some of them. And at some point when I was a children, I was jealous about that she was welcoming people and listening to people and all that. She was I remember going to the first the first time the early stages when I could remember going with her to church, but he was not just to church, he was to serve.
Right. Okay.
Lots of people coming towards her to say hi, to welcome her and all of that. And before we actually I saw that in the car, she taught me, I always wanted to remember this, she said, and I was very little. She said,
Yeah.
humbleness makes you great.
Mm.
Humbleness makes you great. And I couldn't understand what that meant.
Okay.
So when we went out of the car and I saw all these people coming towards her, and she was, regardless of who they were, where they belong, what was their name or their family,
Yeah.
she was the same person with everyone.
Mm.
And has been doing that since I was a kid up to this day. Is the same person with everyone,
Okay.
and she actually believes everyone is a rock star. I mean, like she just sees everyone as equals. She's
Yes.
very empathetic,
Mm.
and she just knows how to be welcome in every environment. Yes, she was a people pleaser in the beginning because of some conditioning as a woman and
Yes.
as the only girl in the family. But she's learning to not be a people pleaser,
Mm.
be more honest with herself, with what she wants, and still be for people. So I believe and so that was what I saw about her. When
Yes.
we were challenged as a family or as a mom and as a child, as children, wow, I mean, you could see my mom is one of those persons who is kind, you know, she's kind, cute, but she could have this mom strength
Right. Okay.
that no matter what happens in life, she just make it happen. Like she just show up and is for the people. And I'm talking about myself, talking about my grandpa and
Yes.
other family members. She just shows up and she make things happen. Like
Mm.
if it's for healing, if it's for recovering. I mean, just to remember all of the things that she has been doing because she hasn't stopped. It's and I know like I'm just mentioning her as an example of the, like I said, the mothers, like all what
Yes.
they
Yes.
do to me is just makes me feel humble and around them and honor their presence. That's why I show up for them. Like, why not?
Yes.
Like I'm just at the other side of the coin. I'm just the son who knows what's not to have a moment as presence
Yeah.
as present as I needed her because she thought she needed to be in the business to
Mm.
bring food on the table because she was single, she was unsupported,
Yeah. Yeah.
then keep a job, then keep for take care of my grandpa with diabetes and
Mm.
all that, and then having to end in the hospital with multiple sclerosis
Mm.
because she was unassisted. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, she was assisted by God, but you know what I mean, she didn't have a husband
Yes.
to
Yes.
provide and be, you know, and then raise me. That was
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I know she's not the only one, so
That's true.
yeah, that's what I can say about them.
So, what quote has helped you, Pedro, to cope in challenging times?
Okay, so at that moment, one of the quotes that kept me going when I launched my business is it's don't remember if it's Greek or Latin.
Okay.
It's Amat Victoria Curam, and it means victory loves preparation. That's that was one of my favorite quotes. Like to be always prepared, like for any challenge. And I love books, of course, and I'm an author and all that.
Yeah.
But I believe what has kept me going, and that's how I start my mentoring with my clients, is the inner work. And you just said it, and you actually acknowledged it. The inner work is actually the best thing you can do. I mean, you can have the worst framework to run your business. You can have the cheapest advice, but the inner work is what's gonna make that advice be like powerful for your life, not only for your business.
Absolutely.
If you hire a coach or mentor, and it's only about methodologies on technology, on how to do this, how to do that, but they do not help you with the inner work. I promise you, probably when you face challenges in your life and you have to put your mentor's advice without the inner work, that's when people quit. That's when people say, I'm not worthy of this, I cannot do this is so difficult, all that. I promise you, it's not that difficult. The biggest challenges are not the how to do stuff. The big challenges is the inner work, is how to beat your ego, to allow yourself to see your greatness, tap into your greatness, believe in your greatness, become your greatness, and show up for people. That's the biggest challenge when you do not have the support to do the inner work.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So what would you say to encourage people today who are listening and watching and who are facing some tough times?
So my favorite latest quote is it's an invitation, for people to relish each moment.
Okay.
Like the rock stars they are. Like it's one of the biggest lessons and one of my goals. I was taught that money is not for fun, so to invest in fun in my life was seen as waste of money and time and energy. So today I spent most of my time having fun, even when I'm conditioned to have to work every single day. I don't believe in working every single day. I believe in showing up for me every single day so that I can show up for whoever needs me.
Absolutely.
So to relish each moment is like to be here fully present with you without having to worry about, I don't know, because I am not there, I'm here. To be enjoying this conversation with you, to learn from you, to be able to share, even when most of the time I'm listening, because that's my job, to be able to feel comfortable by sharing, to, like I said, be here. And after you, I will have another call and I will enjoy that call. And after that, I will have a glass of water. I will enjoy that glass of water. And then I will read perhaps, and I will enjoy that read. Later, I will eat. I will enjoy, whatever I'm gonna eat. So to relish each moment for me is to actually be fully present, enjoying, finding joy in any single decision that we make every single day. For me, decisions are moments. So I believe that's the most productive advice, sorry, that's the best advice on productivity I can give to anyone, to relish each moment. And I learned this from moms.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe everyone has energy and time as the most valuable assets for whatever they want to achieve. If it's their business, their life, their work. But moms, what about moms? They do have the same time that everyone, but they need to manage their energy so that they show up for their children, for themselves, for whoever they're caring for. That's, so I will not, if I create something for them, I see myself like, are you sure this is the right thing for your mom? Because you cannot BS your mom, Pedro. I mean, your mom doesn't have time to waste, nor does she have energy to waste. So make sure that whatever you create serves them fully. So whoever takes my advice or whatever I create, if it's not a mom or a dad, it's fine. They will realize that what I'm trying to do is to not make them waste their time so that they can enjoy their life. My job is actually to keep moms outside the business as long as possible, so that when they come to the business, they only focus on what is going to make them move forward, you know, and not keep them trapped or slaved to the business. So relish the moment like the rockstar you are.
Thank you, Pedro. That's wonderful what you do. Thank you. So tell us about the book that you've written. So if you can please share your book and what the audience can take from your book.
Oh, thank you very much. And actually, it's a product of this belief of relation each moment like the rockstar you are. This book came from being fully present, from being fully in alignment with who I am, with because 2020 I hired a business coach, my first non-Spanish business coach. This coach claimed that her conversation strategy was the best of the best, and it was a high ticket, and I used everything that conversation strategy taught us, and I applied to the T everything. And in a few weeks, I got my Facebook account blocked by Facebook. So I knew that there was something in the conversations that could improve.
Yes.
And definitely following her advice was never gonna get me where I wanted to help more people. So in fact, that person actually taught me that to help moms was a too narrow niche. So I wasn't showing up for moms that year. But you know what? At the end of the year, I said, screw that. I know I'm for moms. And since I say that I help moms, I've been helping way more moms than when I started. So never too narrow niche. And your niche, you don't have to be your niche. Your niche is in your story. So that being a son of a mompreneur gives me the right to help mompreneurs. And you have your story, that's your niche. Okay. So coming back to the book. So I started practicing, I started learning new ways to have conversations, and the most important principle that I learned to have these conversations and stop doing cold outreach, you know, just show up to send a message and expect people to buy from just one message is crazy, is empathy. I learned to make people feel cared, seen, understood, acknowledged, appreciated by me with my messages. That's the success of the methodology, that you will show up as an empath even when you're not an empath, or you believe you're not an empath. People will say, wow, the first person that approaches me without using an approach that is not pushy, is not salesy, is not manipulative. And you will either make them your clients, you will either have them be invited you to other audiences like Rani did. Like we just had a conversation on Messenger and now we're here. And I used the methodology in the book. So and I believe you have felt manipulated in somehow, some way, you wouldn't have invited me or thought to, you know, make me part of your podcast. So I'm honored. So
I am honored to have you too, Pedro.
Thank you. So another thing that you can get out of a conversation is a friend, you know. Why not? I mean, why? I don't put the sell as like the first goal when I talk to someone. I know the relationship is the main goal for me, like the meaningful connection. Perhaps I'm meeting my next business partner. I don't know. Perhaps they come to my audience and they fulfill, or they feel a space that I'm not able to feel to my audience, or they feel it because they're experts on that. So yeah, let's bring my audience more value. So I believe those are the 5 outcomes you can get out of any conversation. And of course, there's the other outcome, which is nothing can happen, you know, like perhaps nothing happened out of a conversation. But most of the time, people feel, like I said, when you make people feel seen, heard, understood, acknowledged, appreciated, and you better, you make people believe in themselves, they will want you around. So that's what's inside the book, the 5 DMs to first 10K method. And it's called 5 DMs because I found that after having 1,000 conversations with women, so it's like if you're a man, you know that with this approach, you will not get blocked or ignored by them. And no, I'm not teaching how to flirt with women. No, that's not the goal of that. It's for business purposes. And if you're a woman, you will know how to approach a man without feeling that you are not saying the right things to position yourself as a businesswoman. So it's five stages in the conversation that can lead you to these 5 results that I just told you. And first, it's called the first 10K because last year, after keep using my methodology, I closed my very first 10K sale using the 5 DMs to first 10K method. So the same thing I'm teaching you, I'm using, and you will learn it from the book. The book has also audiobook. You don't have to invest more money to get the audiobook. It's all in the same bundle. And I have some bonus trainings with real examples of conversations that people who try to tell me and what are their mistakes to people when I tried to close a sale and I was making mistakes. And actually how I close that first 10K method, I'm showing the conversation, I'm showing everything. So that's all you get when you get the book. And that's my latest one. And like I said, by being present on the moment, I felt inspired to write it, to put it everything I knew at the moment. The sales page, everything was inspired action. There's no manipulation in the sales page. There's nothing to make people feel anxious to buy my book. No, I don't believe in such practices. And the surprise for me, and I believe it's just a confirmation to embrace this philosophy, to be present, to relish the moment, to not use manipulation, all that, is that it has been my best-selling book ever, and I've written 4. So this one, using this way of thinking.
That's wonderful, because I think that's the best way to build connection with people is by understanding them, making them feel heard, understood, and feel valued for who they are and how you can help them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, thank you, Pedro. Pedro, tell us about your business. Give us a bit more detail about your business, what you do, so that the audience can understand, to have greater clarity, and how they can reach you, Pedro.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, the business, if you want to reach out or get the book, you can go to thepurplebackpack.com/book or just thepurplebackpack.com. So you will get access to the book, to what I'm telling you. If you want to reach out for help, to apply to my personal help, is thepurplebackpack.com/help. And you will apply with some questions, and we will give you the best answer or best option that we have for you to help you, if we can help you. And on Facebook is the social media that I'm most active, is Pedro Garcia. And on YouTube, my latest baby, I launched my YouTube channel this year, and I'm teaching more stuff there. It's Pedro Garcia / more sales without manipulation. That's how you find me, YouTube. And yeah, that's how you can contact me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pedro. Pedro, it was a great honor to have you on the podcast and on the YouTube. And you are such an inspiration to all the men because of the work that you've been doing on yourself, and to become a great person so that you can help other people now. So I wish you the very best in everything that you do, in your business, and I wish you a lot of success for the future. So thank you for taking the time to speak to the audience today.
Well, I gotta say thank you for just inviting me to your podcast and the YouTube channel. I'm very honored to be here, and you're an amazing person just for believing in people. And once I knew your story, I knew you had a story and you shared it with me, and I'm like, wow, thank you for creating this space, because this space is your stories, is the fruit of making a decision, making a choice. You make a choice and you just believe that you were called to something and you're here. So it's because of you that people can feel in resonance with what we are sharing here as your guest. So thank you very much for having me, and it has been a privilege for me to be here and hopefully inspire your audience.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pedro, and thank you to the audience today for listening and for watching. Have a great week, everyone.